Welcome, Bless Unleashed Adventurers here at Mom's Basement, where I'm your host, once again, DirtyHotte, and today I want to prove my statement on most of my videos that all Crusader blessings have their moments where they can shine with this little video. So let's hop right into it. So, depending on the mobs or bosses you fight during Bless Unleashed, there are certain types of them where the Wolf blessing for Crusader really can shine, and that is when you have a very low uptime. So let's just start by showcasing that with this first boss. We have a few more here in this video, but we still kept the video rather short. So let's start with Malignis, because I think he's a prime example when Wolf can really shine, and I will give some comments during that boss fights. Don't take into account too much the damage output on the display or the damage output you see, because the gear and the blessing isn't really maxed for that situation. It was just for testing purposes and showcasing that Mark of the Wolf can actually work and has its strength. So the first thing you want to do is start Zealot's Fire to have a higher chance to apply bleeding, what I do here. Now we're at above 4 stacks, that's what I need for my blessing. Chains out for the heavy bleeding, and then he stuns us and we can't break out before this mechanic is finished. But during all the time when nobody can damage, our bleeds and the heavy bleeding will still do damage. So that's a prime example when Mark of the Wolf is really great. Do the same thing again. Now we have the bleedings stacked out to the max, chains out. And we're stunned again, but our bleeds just tick during that whole phase. And same again. Yeah, I got hit here. That was pretty unlucky, and that's also the problem why I don't get the change out this time. So he only has the normal bleeding going right now. But as you have seen during this boss fight, this boss is really the best example where Mark of the Wolf is really strong for Crusader, because you're basically the only one, or I'm basically the only one during this fight who does decent damage during the stun phase. So with some more buffs here and there, some love for Mark of the Wolf, it can be really strong in the future. So let's go with Sanguine and Sinew, or whatever they are called. He's also a nice example for that boss. Don't look too much at the mechanics, because I think I fucked them up all. But you can apply your bleeds, and you can see it here for the Crusader. There's another Crusader in that team. There's really no uptime you have. Okay, so with Crescent Moon, yes, you could apply head to head from a distance. Here he does his charge, but there's really no high uptime for a Crusader on that boss. Now I managed to stack my bleeds up and do heavy bleeding. Unfortunately, he cleanses himself. I didn't know that. Oh no, the bleeding still ticks, it's just not visible. So yeah. Not as good as the boss before, but also a boss where Mark of the Wolf can shine. If you hit the right one of those two and stack your bleedings up right now. So you see, nobody can attack him when he's in the ground. That's basically part of the mechanic, but still your bleedings work, even during this phase. And with the recent Mark of the Wolf buffs, for many bosses it's possible to have an uptime, 100% uptime for your bleeding and your heavy bleeding. Not for me right now, because as I said, the blessing isn't maxed. We are somewhere looking about level 10, level 11 for most of them. So I have 65% chance of bleeding proc. I think that's what I'm running in this video. So if you max it out with 85, it should be much easier to keep them up. For stats, if you want to run Mark of the Wolf, because it has the crit bonus, I would say for PvE really heavily go into crit, because bleeding and heavy bleeding really shines with higher crit builds. So let's do some world bosses as well. We here have the well-known Cyclops. It's one of those where melees don't have that much problem, because you can basically always stand behind him for most of the mechanics. But still, their Wolf works pretty nice. And there's also a priest here. And what I wanted to show with this little clip is, yes, our own Righteous Vigor heal doesn't proc from our bleeds, but one of the priest skills, I don't know which one, seems to work. And then we have another example, another field boss example with Bashal. So he's very nice for Wolf. I mean, he works for all the melees, but you can play it very safe with him. Just stack your stuff up. So all the bleeds and the heavy bleeding. And for Bashal it's really easy to keep it up like all the time. You can see it here, we're at 8 bleeds, we have the heavy bleeding on. I can just do my rotation with the war cry to add time to the bleeds. So he's pretty easy, pretty thankfully actually, to play Wolf Crusader on him and to showcase a bit the stacks and procs. I guess for this video I'm only at 8,000 attack power and 24 crit, 24% crit rate without buffs or anything. So the numbers aren't that high. And I'm not sure actually how far to go with Wolf crit wise. I think unbuffed, as we don't use the Endless Crusade, but the chains, I think 30% might be the sweet spot for Wolf when the blessing is maxed. I don't know if going all the way up to 40% is actually worth it. That's something I have to try in the future. And here's a little thought about the Mark of the Wolf blessing in regards of buffs. I think it's better now with the buffs. It's still not really, it's still not there where I want to have it, that it's competitive. I think the problem is that with Crescent Moon, the head-to-head effect, it's just what makes it such a good all-rounder for party gameplay. So I would think something like targets that are affected by your bleeds should also receive 15% more damage, basically the same like the head-to-head effect. To make it a little bit different, maybe only when it's at 8 stacks. Or when heavy bleeding is active, something like that, to bring it more on par. I think it will it be enough? I don't know, but something like that. So don't up the raw damage, but add some group viability, group buffs. So I guess that's it for me from this little video, where I just wanted to show what I always say, that all the blessings for Crusaders at least are situational in Bless Unleashed. So all of them have their weaknesses and strength. All of them have, okay, except Crescent Moon, which doesn't have any weakness, obviously. But yeah, all of them can work in the right situation against the right boss. And yeah, that's it. That's just what I wanted to show here today at Mom's Basement. I hope you enjoyed this rather short video. And if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below your thoughts about Mark of the Wolf or other blessings. And remember, if you want to discuss stuff like that live with me, I stream on twitch.tv 2 times a week. Most of the time it's Tuesday and Thursday. I will add the time in the description because I should stream again tomorrow. So just hop in for some Bless Unleashed gameplay and talks about the Crusader. And I think the next stream will be the topic of best Crusader blessing right now and how to build it, or how to make a build which works for every situation by just changing a few skills here and there. So that's it from me so far. I hope you enjoyed this little piece of content as said before. DirtyHotte out.